Another Guitar Union video. Today we're going to talk about the order of thirds. And what are the order of thirds? It's here I have just the natural notes into two groups, E, G, B, D, F, and F, A, C, E. All of these from one another are thirds. I've got two Fs in there, but if I eliminate one of them and then just go to the A, C, and E, this here is a continual order of thirds. E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E, G into the next octave, B, so on and so forth. Why is it a third? Well, we know that F is between E, F, and E and G, so E, F, G makes it a third. We start with the note that we're on and say 1, 2, 3. So they're 3 letters away. Similarly, G, A, B, G goes straight to A after, and then to B, and then B, C, D, so on and so forth. So now, the order of thirds is often taught in elementary school using the notation, the staff notation. Oops, didn't mean to go that far. So with the staff, we have lines and spaces. The lines are E, G, B, D, F. And there's sayings like every good boy does fine, every good boy deserves fudge, every good bird does fly. The spaces spell the word face. But we don't have to skip back here. It's a continual pattern, whether you go lines or spaces, you're going to be in that order of thirds. Lines and spaces are there just to be able to kind of distinguish as you're reading. So in other words, if I came up above here, after my F would be my A, and then a C on top of that, and then an E on top of that. So we have E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E. And if we were to continue with ledger lines up or go below, we would have the same continual pattern. Well, this is important for guitar players because we play a lot of chords, and chords are built in thirds. When we stack them like this, we see this. These would be the notes of an E minor chord as it is. If we were to bring these up here to the spaces, this would become an F major chord. Now some of them are major chords and some of them are minor chords because there's major and minor thirds. But for all chords, the ones in the key of C and then in any key, they're always going to have a representative note in the order of thirds, meaning all E chords will be E, G, B, for example. All F chords will be F, A, C. The chords that are built in thirds anyway. There are some chords that have other intervals in them, but for now we're talking major, minor, diminished, augmented, seventh chords, and so on. They're all built in thirds. So one key into being able to figure out which notes are in which chords is to know your order of thirds. And that order of thirds, once again, is every good bird does fly, and then you finish spelling face. A, C, E is the beginning, once again, E, G, B, D, F, A, C. You should be practicing saying that. E, G, B, D, F, A, C. E, G, B, D, F, A, C. That way, when you're like, okay, what are the notes in an F chord? F, A, C, it spells face. Or what are the notes in a C chord? C, C, E, and then G. C being the third letter of face, E being the last letter of face, or the first letter of every good. So C, E, G. So on and so forth. All of your notes in all of your chords in the key of C will belong to that order of thirds. Now, when we get into other keys, that means we're going to have to deal with sharps and flats. But once again, there's going to be a representative of each of those letters in each chord. So I'm going to now get rid of this. And I'm going to go to my guitar grid here. So if we take, for example, the C chord, I've got a C, E, and G, C, and E, C, E, G. Last two letters of face and every good. We'll do E minor, for example. E, E, G, B, E, oops, G, B, and E. Now, of course, when we play a chord, we can't play two notes on the same string, but the order of the chord, or the order of notes, is the order of thirds right here: E, G, B, E, G, B, E. So if we're going to play it as a strumming chord, we would do that. So let's take another one, like the F chord, for example. We have it would be FAC, because that spells face. F, A, and then we've got C right here, and then F right here, and then A right here, C, F. And once again, if we're strumming the chord, we can't have both of these, so we would have to eliminate one of them. What are the notes of a D chord? Well, that would be every good bird does fly, and then we start spelling face, so that's D, F, A. Well, we've got our open D string, then D, F, A, D, F, and we're in the same scenario here, where we have to get rid of one of the notes that we're playing. But certainly you can play alternate forms of these chords. Here I'm constructing the chords around the top of the neck. So what do I mean by, if we're in a different key, for example, this is the E major chord, but this would have to become a G sharp, but yet there are still the same order of thirds. The G is still a representative of that. That's why we call it G sharp and not A flat. Even though they're the same audible tone, written they would be different. And okay, so we'll just do one more. The G chord goes G, good bird does, GBD, and then we're back to G, open G, G, B, D, and G. And this right here, you can see there's a lot of times this version of G is played with only the two open strings and the 3 and the 4 finger right here. But of course, you can play it like this as well. So when you're playing your chords anywhere, it's helpful to know once you're in that chord, what are the notes of the chord. And like I said, if we're in any key besides C, you're going to have to deal with sharps and flats in a lot of cases. But a good start to knowing which notes are in there is just knowing which of the note names or the letter names are in there, and from there you can kind of hone in on whether sharps or flats when you become more and more familiar with all of those keys. So I hope this helps in your understanding of figuring out which notes are in which chords, and share it, like it, don't like it, leave a comment, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.